I'm Melissa.
And I'm Lisa.
We're real estate agents in the Shenandoah Valley.
Welcome to the channel. Are you thinking about buying a home in Virginia? Well, we are a buyer beware state.
So follow along and watch this episode to find out what you can do to protect yourself. When you're representing a buyer, you want to make sure they know the lender's going to order that inspection. It's going to cost them about $550. But they also have the choice that if they're paying cash, I have a client right now who's paying cash on a house, which would waive the appraisal, of course. But she knows she's overpaying for the house. Mm-hmm. So she chose to pay for that inspection out of pocket for that appraisal so she could get a price to be able to negotiate with the seller, because she already knows, and we made that contingent in the contract of purchase, that she's going to have an appraisal and she wants to make sure the house is valued where it's at.
I think just based on that story alone, I think it's pretty clear to people that every single transaction is completely unique.
Yes.
And you can't just say that, oh, okay, well, you're going to get an appraisal. You may not.
Right.
But a lot of these things on our top 10 list are options to help buyers, to protect buyers, and even to protect sellers in a lot of cases too. So
that's right.
I think it's really important to talk about it, and also to maybe even have some of those stories.
Yes.
That's why we have coffee, because coffee and story is
perfect.
In case you don't have a cup of coffee, we went ahead and made you a cup.
So sit down, enjoy the show.
Yeah. So we're going to be starting with number one, which is appraisal.
Yes.
So you had that really great I have a story too.
Yes.
But I would love to hear your story about the 5-car garage. But yeah, what happened with yours?
So sometimes when you have a property and they're custom homes or in areas that aren't always easy to identify value, you can overcapitalize on a property, and sometimes people do that knowing it's going to be their final home, and so they build it and exactly how they want it. Circumstances change. Yeah. So we have a property that we're getting ready to list, and it has a huge 5-car garage detached from the home, and the home itself has a 3-car garage. So we have plenty of place.
Clearly this cars. Person loves cars.
Yes.
That's their passion.
And that's why they built it.
Yeah. And sadly, a lot of buyers think, well, certainly everyone else feels the same way I do. And, all of a sudden now what you're doing is you're narrowing the amount of potential buyers that you have, because not everyone may share that passion of cars.
That's right. So
and that's kind of a tough lesson for people.
It is. So just communicate and talk to your seller and make sure they know maybe that might not be as valuable to someone else as it is to them.
Did it impact the appraisal?
Actually, it helped the appraisal.
Oh, that's good.
I was not expecting that.
That's great.
It did help the appraisal. So,
yeah. So sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. So my story. Oh, by the way, appraisals. In case you're completely new to this and you're thinking, what are they talking about? Appraisal is essentially a valuation of property when it comes to home appraisals. Mm-hmm. But it can also be a valuation of antiques or jewelry, things like that. Yes. So it's really just trying to figure out what is the fair market value of something. So that you have, in a way, fair trade. Mm-hmm. So it helps everybody.
It does.
Lenders really, really want those appraisals. So that's an important thing to know as a buyer, that might be something that you're going to need to do. So my story, client had a sawmill, commercial grade sawmill on their property for very noble reasons. They were not getting into the business of that, but what they wanted to do was, they had a lot of wooded area. They had some trees that were down, and they thought, hey, how about I go ahead, I plane them on the sawmill, and then I can start adding them to my house.
Sure.
Build the deck with those oak boards that were beautiful. the problem is that they were in a residential area, so it was not zoned for any kind of commercial
Right.
endeavor, and they were thinking, oh, we're never going to sell. Well, this is just going to be for us. This is our passion project anyway, and lo and behold, now they need to sell. First thing is, wait a minute, that's going to be a really big problem with zoning. You're going to have to get rid of that commercial sawmill. That was not easy for them to do.
Right.
But that's something to think about as well, is sometimes, those circumstances are not even the house itself, but
Other things.
whatever other improvements are on
That's
that
right.
land. So,
Yeah.
something to think about.
Yep, totally. So, buyer beware. The state of Virginia is not the only state that's buyer beware, but please remember all the information provided in these videos. This video is from our experience and our knowledge. So please always remember, you're the buyer, you're in control, and it is your money. So ultimately, do your due diligence. We're here to assist, help you navigate, help you find resources for information, but do your due diligence, ask questions, protect yourself in this purchase so that you know you're protected.